everyone, welcome back to Reema's Sunday Reset. I am so happy and excited to be bringing this back. So in today's video, we can talk about one very important factor that I have been discussing with my clients, with myself, is about the primary principles we have established that to really win at life, it takes more than beauty, degree and a stacked bank account. We have been talking about some of these exact principles that we need to be aware of, in addition to those things to keep us moving forward and to minimize any damage that can be done to us. But today we are going to cover this primary principle, which I also call the power principle. So this one is the most important principle, though you will certainly need the others to get there. This is a primary principle because it will basically dictate what you do and how you move on a day-to-day basis. So it will affect your life every day, and if you can master it, it will amplify your power and you will be in the driver's seat. I won't even keep you waiting anymore. Let's get started. Sunday Reset with Reema, episode 22, Pave your life with purpose and direction. So what is the primary principle? It is simply knowing what you want and never losing the sight of that. Both these aspects are necessary for this principle because on one hand, there are some people just have no idea what they want, so they have nothing to keep their sight on. And then there are some other people who know what they want, but they are so easily distracted or led astray that they are never on the right path for long enough to make any progress. So we definitely need both of these pieces working in unison. It's particularly important for us as a woman to discuss this topic, because we aren't always encouraged to go after what we want relentlessly. We are usually taught how to play nice and how to be agreeable, which isn't a bad skill to have at all. In fact, it can make getting to your goals and getting to what you want even easier when you know how to use honey instead of vinegar. But we need more than just that. We need to be able to play the game a long time, and in a long term, these things, just doing whatever is in front of us, whatever is popular or whatever feels good in the moment doesn't serve. You would be surprised how many people have no aim in their life. So they get up, do the bare minimum, they want to get through the day, come home and engage in some sort of escapism, then go back to bed and proceed the next day doing the same thing again and again for 365 days. But they are not working towards anything. There is no bigger plan, or now it's not a mock on anyone. I think sometimes we may fall into these kind of traps without even realizing, and these patterns, some people have such heavy lives, so escapism for them feels great in a moment and helps them to keep their sanity. So I am saying this more of a little reminder to nudge us to remember to assess if the things that we are doing on a day-to-day basis are helping us get closer to our goals or keeping us stagnant. Of course, a little bit of escapism is necessary for everyone. Entertainment is wonderful, but not at the expense of you reaching your goals. It's actually impossible to overstate, the importance of having goals. It is so much easier to make good productive choices and to stay on track when you have goals in place. I know personally it's easier to pass on a cake or any favorite desserts when I know I'm trying to get super fit, whether it's for an event or for any vacation, and I just want to look myself the most fabulous. Or think about that, if you want to pick any classes when you know exactly what degree or career, or even simpler, how much easier it is to make a grocery shopping when you know what you're going to be cooking for this whole week. So you don't even end up in that oats but no milk situations, literally or figuratively. So you have a plan. The next important point I would like to highlight is to choose your battles wisely. So from my angle, to me, it's about, not confronting every Tom, Dick and Harry when they throw challenges at us, but it is about, preserving your energy and using strategies that work in order to actually get the results. I know people who have been fighting since basically they came into the world with absolutely nothing to show for it. Just because you are swinging doesn't mean you are winning, my love. So I'll say this again, just because you're swinging doesn't mean you're winning. Sure, you feel like you're moving, your heartbeat is up and you're breathing heavily, but you are not actually accomplishing anything. So I'll give you a quick simple example of swinging versus winning. So on a very basic level, from my own experiences, so this situation occurred when I wanted to eat at a particular restaurant, when my husband's hospital team that were visiting us from out of town, and the reservation got messed up. And on top of the restaurant messing up my reservation, the hostess was just being really dismissive and kind of snacky. And the restaurant was super packed, and I'm sure she was under a lot of pressure. But it's also like, don't give me an attitude when you guys are the ones making the mistakes, right? So my first instinct, I will admit, was to get snacky back. In my mind, I thought, 6 different situations I could give that lady back. I could tell and show her the kind of, her place and give her a piece of my mind. But that would have blown off out of proportion. And for a long term, what I actually wanted was to get a table, sit down and have a good time and treat my guests to the particular experiences so that they were looking forward to. So when in that moment, it would have felt good, to figuratively swing and feel like I was doing something by giving her a piece of my mind and giving her that attitude that she was giving me. So that wouldn't have served any long-term goal of wanting a table. So I opted to keep it cool and just be very polite. I put myself in her shoes and I said, hey, I understand it's a super packed, you are busy, and this mistake is not your fault clearly, because you are not in charge of making any reservations. But at the same time, here's my confirmation on my end and my current situations where I have people visiting, and I have made these reservations way in advance. So is there anything that you can do to honor this? Long story short, we did end up getting a seat in this kind of birthday VIP-ish section, because there was no birthday celebration during that particular time slot, and my guests and I ended up having a great night. So in that moment, I could have done what felt good and get even by giving her an attitude, but that would not have served my long-term goal or my actual goal. So if you know your long-term goals is that you want to be married and be a respected wife, you have to realize that even though in the short term it might feel good to spend time and get attention from other random guys, but it's not going to serve you long term. And with that perspective, it might feel good in the moment to eat your feelings away and enjoy those pleasurable sensories on your taste buds and the comfort that provides. But the long term, if you know what's going to make you actually happy is to be the most fit, fly, confident version of yourself, eating your feelings doesn't serve that long-term goal. So we need to set these goals, know what we want long-term, and then make a short-term decisions that further that purpose. The main questions I get when talking about knowing what you want is, what if I don't know what I want? Yet firstly, I would say kudos to you for that self-awareness, that expose yourself to more things you don't know. What kind of food you like, for example, the easiest response would be to have some sample different cuisines and see which one you enjoy the most. It's similar for what is interesting to you and what you want out of life. Give yourself or your life a chance to experience different things, and I'm not even saying you to go out and spend a bunch of money necessarily. Analyze the lives of people and whose lives you admire. You can also read up on and watch different things to see if you can resonate with them. One of the biggest things that opened my mind before I got out and about and experienced things was reading. So if you usually pick up a celebrity gossip magazine, try picking up homemaking magazine, like better homes or gardens, or really simple reads that you can watch or observe, so you can want to do things that you just find interesting. So one thing will lead up to another, especially if you're watching YouTube's on a platform, so you will be definitely continuously exposed to different ideas along those lines, and new things will be recommended to you while you are on this note. If you don't know what you want yet, try not to make any permanent decisions during this self-discovery stage, because now, while there are things that you can switch and undo, there are also things that will be stuck with the repercussions for a long time to come. So if not for life, you can always go back to school or switch your majors or even your careers, but it's pretty hard to come back from something like having a child you are not ready for. So you see how some are more flexible and the others are not as flexible, and making any permanent decisions during your discovery phase, knowing what you want and focusing on these increases your power. So you are no longer fighting pointless battles. You are no longer doing everything people ask or doing whatever is expected of you or whatever is popular. You are spending your time wisely and in ways that benefits you. Every time you say no to something that doesn't serve you, you are building discipline, you are building confidence, you are building self-trust, you are learning that you can trust yourself to make good decisions that will benefit you in the long run. And as this happens, you will notice that you will question yourself less, and you will depend less on the approval of the others, because you will come to know that you come through for yourself, know what you want, and didn't lose the sight of that. And by doing this one thing, you will not only feel in control, you will be in control of your decisions and ultimately your life. And that is sincerely what I want for each one of you. So I hope this video gets you one step closer to making it a reality if you are not there yet. Until next time, stay focused, have fun, bye.